This is Matthew Aguilar, and this is the Cinephile, which I have two series with Cinephile in the title. I have A Cinephile Goes to the Movies, which is a satirical parody little web series where I mostly just kind of make fun of and satirize online critics, like movie critics, I mean. And then this one, which is called The Cinephile, is actually a series where I legitimately talk about movies I literally want to talk about. Like, I just want to talk about these movies. No jokes, nothing like that. I literally just want to rave about a movie or something. The first episode of this series, I think it premiered like beginning of this year, 2020. It was my favorite, or my video, the best movies of 2019. So yeah, that was my first video of this. Yeah, I haven't done an episode of this series in kind of a while, but I wanted to talk about this movie. So I watched this movie on Netflix called The Girl on the Third Floor, and it's not on Netflix. It's on Netflix, but it's not like a Netflix movie. I don't know. I was looking at, because I wanted to watch it, because I know a lot of people said it was really, really good, and I was looking at something that I don't know how this worked, but it was like America's 10 most watched things or something like that. That was on Netflix. It was like a little, I guess it was a column of Netflix movies or something. I don't know. It was like the USA's 10 favorite movies or something. And I expected to see like more, Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, stuff like that. But I was actually legitimately surprised when I saw stuff that I didn't expect on there. And at number 10 was this movie, The Girl on the Third Floor. So I was like, wow, people really love this movie that much. Really, it's like, I legitimately cannot believe that this movie has so much attention. So I wanted to watch it. So I was like, it's on Netflix. I mean, it's only 90 minutes long. Let's give it a good watch. The movie, I was not prepared really for this movie, because this movie is one of the most original, like, haunted house movies I've seen in a while. A lot of people like saying it's a homage to the classic ghost movie, like The Haunting from the 50s, or The Innocents, or something like that. But I don't think it's a homage to that. I would say this is not even a homage at all. This is more like a love letter, because this movie's I would argue this movie's its own thing. Like, this movie does something weird. This movie is a weird movie, but that's what I love about it, is that it's just a weird movie. It's literally just a movie where a guy, guy buys a house. It's a cliche story. Guy buys a house because he wants to raise his family in this house, and then he has to stay there for a few days to remodel it, blah, blah, blah. And some weird things happen. It's a cliche ghost story. But this movie's really gross. How do I describe this? So, body horror is a genre that I really love. It's disgusting, but also there's some sort of artistic value there, and you get to see a lot of practical effects and everything. So body horror is really cool, and I wish there would be more body horror movies out there these days. So this movie, well, it's not pretentious, I would say. This movie is like a Eraserhead, I would say. because Eraserhead technically is a body horror movie, and this movie is like that, where how do I say this? It's not the annual body horror, I guess you would say. Not annual. It's not your typical body horror movie where somebody is slowly transforming into some grotesque, inhuman thing. And I love those movies. Do not get me wrong. I love those movies, and those are the type of movies I wish would make a comeback, like a major comeback in mainstream. I'm sure it has. I just don't. Well, there's some movies I think are technically body horror movies, like Upgrade and Overlord, but they're not. That's not the main story of the movie. So I wish there'd be more movies like that. What am I trying to get? Oh yeah. Okay. So before I get sidetracked, Eraserhead is not your typical body horror movie. There's no one transforming into something grotesque. Instead, you're just seeing you're kind of seeing imagery, like, of people who have severe physical deformities. And I don't mean like realistic ones. I mean like ones that look like these people. Sometimes they look like something that was normal at first, and then they look like this.
In heaven, everything is fine.
Yeah, it's not your typical body horror movie. I would say this is like that because this movie. I'm just gonna go into spoilers with this movie. This movie's already been out. If you want to avoid spoilers, I would say stop this video right here. Go on Netflix, watch Girl on the Third Floor, and come back and listen to the rest. All right, I'll give you 5 seconds. All right. I hope you guys liked it. Did you like that movie? Hope you did. Anyway, so this movie goes into major themes of movies like The Shining and Doctor Sleep. Actually, they talk about this a lot in Doctor Sleep, more in The Shining, about instead of the house as being a haunted house or something, like the house is just haunted because somebody died. No, it's more symbolic than that. And what I mean by it's more symbolic than that is it's basically what they're trying to say is the house is a living thing. Like, the house is alive. It's not haunted. It's not just a piece of property that's haunted. No, the house itself is a living organism. And they delve into that in Doctor Sleep, I believe, more than The Shining. The Shining kind of delves into that too. But this movie does it more rather than just subtly. This movie does it more than that because the body horror in this movie, it isn't like somebody is transforming or you see multiple people like weird bodily disorders. No, it's like if the body horror happens to a house and not a living person. That's how I described this movie, and I loved it. I loved this movie. Yeah, there's scenes where there's this weird molds and slimes just coming from the walls and out of all the outlets and everything, and then there's it's kind of like just that. It's just weird slime and mold is coming out of the house, and then this weird fluids that just ooze out of every single crevice of this house, and then the guy Dawn, I believe his character's name, just goes insane, kind of like Jack Torrance, starts going insane. But I mean, good reason. Everything just seems to want to fuck with him. So yeah, it's a good reason he's going insane. Like, he has reason, but he's going insane. And then, I don't know, like, these spirits and everything are, like, tormenting him. It's like a mixture of The Shining, a 50s ghost movie, and Hellraiser. It's a mixture of that, a little bit of Eraserhead in there, but it's a mixture of that, and I loved it. I just loved what they did with this movie. I have not seen a movie like this before, where the body horror aspect, again, isn't a living creature, it's a house. Like, all the body horror disfigurements and stuff are happening to a house, not a person. Okay, well, I mean, there are moments where it does happen to people, where there is body horror that happens to people, but most of it happens to a house, an inanimate object, and I just think that was so creative, and it was gross, and actually kind of scary, and, I mean, there's a scene where Dawn gets a sledgehammer, is knocking holes into the walls, and then there's like this weird, it looks like a heart. It looks like a heart just beating through the holes in the walls, like, and it looks like all flesh and everything, and it's just disgusting. And the effects in this movie are gross, disgusting. It's just like really weird. It's this weird ass movie, and I loved it. I loved every minute of this movie. This movie is not a typical ghost movie. This is a scary movie. Well, it's a scary and clever movie, and it's just good. It's just a good movie. I think that this movie, I wish I saw this movie in 2019 when it came out, because this movie would probably have been in my best video. That it would probably be among those movies. That's how much I loved this. This was so good. This was just a good movie. Yeah, this was just really, really, really good. I had no interest in seeing this at first. I mean, I remember when I first heard about it, I remember when I was first hearing stuff about this movie, to me it just sounded really like lame and cliche, and sounded like, oh, goofy ghost movie, oh, it's really good. And I kept hearing more and more things about it, and I think it's gonna do what I feel like all the reviews and stuff were doing for me with It Follows, where because so many people loved it, I just felt so let down by the movie that I couldn't help but hate the movie. I thought this was going to be the same case, however it wasn't, because I agree with everybody who says this movie is fantastic, a fantastic piece of horror. I agree with that, because this is a movie that is critically underrated right now, critically underseen. Nobody has really seen this movie outside of like horror critics and everything. Nobody's really watched this movie, and I think that is a crime. I think people should watch this movie. It's fun, it's entertaining, it's creative, it's like the effects are good, the acting's pretty good, it's pretty solid. The writing's pretty solid too. It's just a solid movie. It really is. Like, it's a creative movie, and especially if you are a fan of body horror movies like I am, then you'll probably find a lot to enjoy in this movie. There's a lot of disgusting things in this movie, and it's just fantastic. I cannot stop talking about this movie. This movie is just really, really good. It's fantastic. It's memorable. It's just a good movie. It's a weird movie, and I think people should watch it. So yeah, I recommend Girl on the Third Floor. It is such a good movie. I don't know, so far if I were to make a video about my movie watching experiences of this year, my favorite ones, I would definitely put this on there. I feel like this was an experience. It wasn't just a good movie. I feel like it was also a good experience. It felt like I was actually going through some sort of haunted house in an amusement park or something. Some demented haunted house. And I loved it. This movie was really great. Yeah, so I recommend Girl on the Third Floor. I think it's on Amazon Prime, but right now it is on Netflix. So if you have Netflix right now, you can watch this, and I recommend it. I highly recommend this movie. It was so good. It was entertaining. It was clever. It was just an original movie. It's one of those rare movies that actually was able to take a cliched story and make it original and make it clever. And I felt like this movie was strong because of that. So yes, I recommend Girl on the Third Floor. Anyway, that's it for right now of this episode of the Cinephile. I hope you guys liked this. If you did, please give this video a big thumbs up, and also hit that big red subscribe button and hit the bell icon for future notifications of videos like this that are coming out. And I'll see you guys next time with another video. There's really nothing else to talk about. Maybe I'll review The Invisible Man for the Cinephile, the new one. But I don't know. But anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.